In my continuing quest to create smaller and smaller micro-scale Star Wars vehicles, I'm going to create a Star Destroyer using a 1x1 plate with tooth and a 1x1 tile with clip on top. I'm going to put that clip piece on top of our tooth piece so that the kind of clip is parallel to our plates, and you create the tower to our Star Destroyer. But here you have a micro Star Destroyer using only 2 pieces, ready to circle planets across the galaxy or dust balls underneath your bed. The first thing we're going to do is grab our 2x3 plate with hole. And in that hole, we're going to get a 1x1 plate, round plate, and just stick it in there upside down so that it fills in that hole. And the reason I do that is because I don't like to have the hole in front of the Star Destroyer, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now we've got these next 2 studs that are sticking out. On top of there, I'm going to get a 1x2 tile piece, and just put that 1x2 tile piece right there on those 2 studs. Now on these back 2 studs, I'm just going to get a 1x2 jumper plate, and that 1x2 jumper plate just goes there on the back studs. And on top of the jumper plate, I'm now going to get a 1x1 round plate with hole, and that hole is very important. So we put that on top of our jumper plate, and the reason that hole is important is because we're going to get a 1x2 plate next, and on the bottom of that 1x2 plate you're going to see that little tiny stud or notch sticking out in the center. Well, we're going to put that little stud into the hole of our 1x1 round plate like this. And here we have a micro Star Destroyer, and the nice thing is this thing is so small that those little studs can act as the shield generator on top of the Star Destroyer. First thing we're going to do is grab our 3x4 wedge plate with notches on the side there, and on top of there, on these last 2 studs, we're going to get a 2x2 plate and stick it right there. And then we've got this space here. On that space, we're going to get our 1x2 bracket piece and put it there to fill in the gap, so it's nice and smooth on the bottom. And now it's also smooth on the top. Now, on this back part, on these back 2 studs, I'm going to get a 1x2 jumper plate and put that on the back of our Star Destroyer like this. And now on top of this 1x1 jumper plate, I'm going to get a 1x1 round brick with hole. Alright, very important you have that hole. Okay, so you put that here, and now you're going to see where that hole comes in handy. On that hole, I'm going to put this 1x2 plate and line it up with that little hole or notch or stud in the bottom of our plate like this. And now we kind of got the tower of our Star Destroyer. And the nice thing is this thing is so small that those 2 studs there act as the shield generators. And then on the back of our bracket plate, we're going to put our engines. And our engines, all we do is put some round 1x2 translucent blue plates, and we have a mini Star Destroyer ready to patrol a mini galaxy. The first thing you do is get some 8x3 wedge plates, and then on top of those 8x3 wedge plates, you're going to get a 6x3 wedge plate, and just put it on top and at the bottom of the larger wedge plate. So you just line it up on the very back, and when you snap it together, it's going to be perfectly lined up with our larger wedge plate. You do that with both of these wedge plates, and then once that's done, you put them together, and you're going to get a 2x4 wedge plate and put it along the back here, and that's going to hold all our wedge plates together securely. Then we get a 1x2, 1x4 bracket plate and just put it along the back here. So put the bracket plate on, and then on top of that bracket plate, we're going to put a 1x2 plate again. So it's right on top of that bracket plate, put that 1x2 plate, and on top of that 1x2 plate, we're going to put a 1x4 plate. So it just goes right across, lined up and centered, and at the end of those the ends of that 1x4 plate, we're going to put these 1x1 round plates for our shield generators on top of the tower of our Death Star. And then once we've got that on, we get to do our thrusters, and our thrusters go here. We get a 1x2 jumper plate and put it across the back, and then we get some 1x1 round plates, translucent blue, for the thrusters. And here we have the engines firing on our Star Destroyer as it goes through space, and there is our completed Star Destroyer. the first thing we're going to do is take our wedge plates and put them across our 2x4 plate. And you're just going to use the first 3 studs and put those across, so you've still got 2 studs in the back that we haven't used. And you take your 1x4 plate and put it across there. Now once you have all those connected, we take our wedge plate and put it on the back section, so the 2 studs here are still showing, and it kind of looks like that in the back. And now we've got this kind of divot here with 2 studs. Well, there's where we put our 1x2, 1x4 bracket piece. And then on top of that bracket piece and wedge, we're going to put a 2x2 jumper plate to kind of hold it in place. And on the back here, we're going to put a 1x2 jumper plate across the center. So we've got 3 studs now shooting out the back, and that's where we're going to put our 1x1 circle plates to act as our thrusters or engines coming out of the Star Destroyer. Now once we've done this, we've kind of completed the base of our Star Destroyer, and we're going to work on the tower or the command bridge. And for that, we're going to get our slope with no studs and put a 1x3 plate underneath it here. So it goes like that. And on the sides here, we're going to have the shield generators, and we're going to use a 1x1 circle plate to create those shield generators. And then once we have this all taken care of, we put it on top of our Star Destroyer, where the front of this slope piece with no stud goes on there. And here we have our Star Destroyer.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or check out some of our other videos. Until next time, let's keep building together.